you ever found yourself wondering what loose watercolor painting actually means? I can promise you, you're not the only one. So let's paint and chat about that, and I'll share what I found to be the key to loose and fun painting. After a good many years of watercolor, I want to share the 2 tips that I found to be the most helpful in allowing me to embrace this forgiving and fun approach to watercolor. So first things first, just what do we mean when we talk about painting in a loose style? Like a lot of things in art, this is quite subjective, so perhaps the better question to ask is what loose means to you. And I think in coming to an understanding of that, you really need to go back to the reasons why you paint in the first place. For me, I paint to relax, to remember the tiny delights of the everyday. Like when you walk into a room and out of the corner of your eye, you catch a glimpse of a vase of flowers. They can lift your spirits even before your eyes take in all the detail. They're a splash of fragrant colour and life in the room. Now that's what I want to paint. I want to paint as effortlessly as possible, as effortlessly as the little flower blooms. Does that sound lazy? I think that when some people consider loose painting, they think of it as lazy painting. But to my mind, a successful painting still needs strong bones, a good composition, strong values, and a pleasing palette, for example. Without these things, the subject may not be recognizable. There's certainly effort required for the painter to learn these things. So I don't think loose painting is lazy painting at all. For me, it's more about an attitude of ease. And I want to paint with ease, with a glad heart and a confident brush. That's why the motto in my Happy Painters monthly membership is bold hands and glad heart, because that to me is loose painting. Another word that's often used is painterly, as in a loose and painterly style. Broadly, I think these words are both describing a painting that is expressive, more about feeling than detail. An alternative is the hyper-realistic style, where a painting is counted successful if it's an almost exact copy of the photo. Now why, I ask myself, why would anyone want an exact copy of the photo? Surely one would just use the photo. For me, part of the appeal of the painting is the evidence of the human hand and heart that created it. Personally, I like a painting to look like a painting. A painting is not just a facsimile of a subject, however pretty the subject may be. There's a story in the painting, and the painter is a part of that story, whether they realize it or not. Now that's just a little bit magical, isn't it? I do like the painting subject to be recognizable, but not in such minute detail as to be overworked. If it's a painting of flowers, I want it to look like flowers, but not like an illustration out of a botanical textbook. It always seems to me that at some point the strain of the painter's exertion shows up in a tight painting. It becomes a story of the painter's efforts. But this rather diminishes the subject's delight, in my opinion. And the subject's delight is really the reason the painter chose to paint that subject in the first place. The energy and life of the subject is very often lost in the pursuit of illustrative detail. Now, how can you relax and enjoy the fun of painting if you're agonizing over every tiny detail? I don't think you can. So if you want to have a go at painting in a loose style, here's my first tip: to try and let go of expectation. Painting is so much more fun if you can let go of needing it to turn out exactly like the reference photo. The tendency to doubt oneself is seldom keener than when we commit brush to paper. Doubt makes us self-conscious and hypercritical. I think that might be the very opposite of fun, but fun makes the best paintings. Starting off with the thought that you just want to see what you get when you paint a loose interpretation of your subject is likely to be far more pleasurable and far more successful. I think sometimes it comes down to a question of trust. We have to trust ourselves, have a little faith in our ability to make something lovely on the page, and to know that it can be lovely even if it's not exactly as we had seen it in the reference that inspired us in the first place. So my first tip, as I say, is all about letting go of your own expectations. But that doesn't mean that the burden is now all on you to create a loose painting, because actually, here's where we come to my second tip. and that is to collaborate with your paint, because actually the paint is here to help you. I like to think of it more as a creative partner. Watercolor does such fascinating, amazing things if you let it, rather than trying to control it. What that means in practical terms is that it's best not to fuss too much. Place the paint on the page and then see what it does next. Let the paint and the water and the paper fibers decide exactly how the pigments are going to disperse and settle in your painting, because this is where watercolor shines. Again, I think we might be coming back to that question of trust. Trust in yourself to be able to make something of what comes on the page, and trust in your supplies to let them do what they do best. Between the two of you, you're going to make something lovely. And actually, whether it turns out perfectly lovely in your opinion at the end is not quite as important as how much fun you have in the process. If you've heard about watercolor being a nightmare to control, ignore all of that. Treat it as your collaborative partner. Take a breather and let it help you. Loosen up and paint just for the fun of it. So like so many things, I think a positive painting experience comes down to mindset, a mindset that is free of the expectation of getting things perfect, and that is open to collaboration with your watercolor supplies, and trusting that you will be able to make something of what appears on the page. Now, understanding that mindset is key is all very well, but of course, it would be helpful to have some very practical steps, practical tips about what to do when you're faced with brush, paper, paint, and water. There's a whole separate video all about that. So if you want some highly practical tips about how to go about attempting a loose and expressive fun painting, I'll pop that video up on the screen and you can watch it next. Happy painting!